Hi, welcome to Soul to Soul, a virtual event to support Hill House Hospice in Richmond Hill. My name is Ann Klausner, owner of Exercise with Care. I started my career in health and wellness 20 years ago as an aquatic therapist. And it was very interesting working in warm water therapy pools. I always noticed that people would come to the pool in excruciating pain and they'd come into the water and submerge. And when they'd come up, their face would have changed. The tension would be gone, and a smile would often appear. Because in the warm water therapy pools, nobody seemed to feel their pain. And this was very curious to me. I never really knew the reason why until many years later I started to study the neurology of movement and pain. And then I discovered the secret that our brain holds over everything that we experience, feel, and do and see, and everything. It all comes down to our brain, our nervous and sensory system. So we're going to talk about that today, and I'm going to give you some fun exercises to do either on a daily basis. I do some of them every day. I do some of them not every day. And you're going to be able to pick and choose and see what feels good for you. But let's start by understanding what's going on in our own brain. And I'm going to show you a slide for that. And we're going to see what your brain is actually experiencing. Without our sensory system, this is what our brain is experiencing. Nothing. It sits inside our skull, a dark box void of any information about the outside world or even what's happening inside our body. We tend to think of our brain as this magnificent machine which can think up complex philosophies, civilizations, and fly us into outer space. But in reality, it's only that very front part of our brain, that little green area encircled with bright yellow, that is responsible for all these complex thoughts. The rest of our brain is dedicated to receiving and interpreting sensory information, movement, and of course, survival through our respiration, heart rate, digestion, etc. If you look at the colors on the brain, the orange area is responsible for our movement. The blue and brown area is receiving information from our tactile and touch sensory system. The pink and red area in the back is our visual system. The gray area is our auditory system. And we also have our sense of smell, that little tiny green area, which gives our brain the information it needs. So the really big message here is that every single thing that happens inside and outside of your body, everything you feel, see, smell, touch, affects every reaction and thought and feeling that is created by your brain, because everything is created by our brains. And we can affect that in positive and negative ways. When we shut down our sensory system, when we're not giving positive information or enough information into our brain, it doesn't know what to think, and it's going to go into fear. And it's going to possibly give us pain, stiffness, and other unpleasant sensations in our body. But when our brain has a wide range of vision, when it can hear and see and experience, and it knows that the world around us is safe, we're going to feel better every single day. And every sensation that you give to your brain affects all the other sensations as well, because it's an integrated unit. So we're going to get started with a sensory warm-up. Like I said, this is something that parts of it I do every single day, not all of it. And I invite you to follow along and choose what feels good for you, what feels good right now, and what may feel good later. I hope you enjoy the session. Now that we've discussed the importance of our sensory system and its communication with our brain so that we can react appropriately to everything going on in the world around us, we're going to go through together a sensory warm-up. Now, I don't always do this entire warm-up all together at one time. Sometimes I'll say, oof, I really need to do my feet right now, which actually every single morning as I'm waiting for the hot water to boil for my tea, I am doing a sensory warm-up of my feet. My head, sometimes even if I'm driving in traffic and I'll stop at a red light and I'll do the sensory warm-up on my head, or especially after many hours on the computer. So we're going to go through the whole body, and I suggest that you adapt what really works for you, what feels good for you, and rewatch this once or twice. Make some notes and figure out when you need to do which part of the sensory warm-up. But for now, let's all go through it together. So I'm going to start with my head. I really want to wake up my head, and I'm just going to give some sensation. Almost everybody loves having a scalp massage. That's because we have a lot of nerve endings in our scalp, on our head, and we're stimulating them. You might feel some tingling, you might feel like current, or maybe it's just relaxing. You can massage, you can tap, you can even give gentle pushing and pulling. Or if your scalp is very sensitive, maybe you just want to do a little bit of pulling of your hair. Maybe that's all you can tolerate, especially if you've had any kind of a head injury. You might have sensitive areas on your scalp, and the only thing that feels good is to do some gentle hair tugging. So find out what feels good for you. We're going to get the entire scalp. And now I'm going to move down to my ears. So I'm just going to gently rub my ears. A little bit of a pull, a little bit of a massage. We have our vagus nerve, which runs right behind our ear. So for many people, this is very, very relaxing. Babies, if you've ever noticed, self-soothe by pulling on their ears because of that vagus nerve. It just relaxes the entire body, our heart rate, our blood pressure. It feels good. Now I'm going to move on to my face. And again, I can either gently massage, I can tap, I can give pressure, just pushing down, some pressure, or maybe a little bit of gentle pulling of the skin. And I'm going to start on my forehead. I'm going to move around my eyes, little circles, little tapping. And I'm going to go to my cheeks, across the bridge of my nose, and around my mouth. Look at my neck. And now we're going to really wake up our face. Just get the base of your skull first, the top of your neck. Give a little bit of information there. We're going to move on to really waking up the nerves and muscles of our face. Now, what's very cool about this is that not only does it feel good, but when your face is more mobile, when you have more blood circulation, you're going to look better as well. So start by using either your finger. I'm going to use a pin that has my logo on it right there, and I'm going to stare at that logo, and I'm going to wake up my eyes. Now the idea is here, I'm not moving my head. So to demonstrate, I'm actually going to put my finger here, make sure my head doesn't move. I'm going to follow the pen with my eyes, and I'm going to hold it now out to the side for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to center. I'm going to take a step back so you can see me do this better. And I'm bringing the pen out to the side, following with my eyes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to center. Now I'm going to go upwards. My eyes are going up, following that pin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back down to center, and I'm going to go straight up now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to go straight down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down to the side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to center, switching hands. Moving my arm to the side, following with only my eyes, not my head. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to center. Diagonal. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to center and straight up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now I'm going to go straight down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to center and down to the diagonal. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is a great way to wake up your eyes, especially since we're spending so much time staring at devices. Our eyes are not moving the way they should. If you look at small children, their eyes are constantly darting around. And that has to do with muscle and nerve activation. So again, we want our eyes to be moving. We want our eyes to be able to scan our environment and give correct sensory information to our brain about what is happening around us. So now that we've woken up our eyes, we're going to wake up our jaw. We use our jaws a lot. We talk, we eat, we swallow. We need to work on it. A lot of people clench their jaws, have tight jaws, what's called TMJ. So you want to feel right in here. This is that little TMJ area. And we're going to stretch our mouths. And stretch. And I'm going to open my mouth as wide as I can. I'm actually going to place my fingers on my chin and open my mouth as wide as I can. And feel a nice stretch here in the jaw. And now I'm going to try, if you're able, I'm putting my fingers here just to demonstrate. I want you to try to move your jaw from right to left. And again, if you have TMJ, if you have any tightness in the jaw, this might be a little uncomfortable at first, but do it slowly. Don't be aggressive, and it's going to feel really, really good after you get used to it. In fact, I can't imagine a day without doing my jaw stretches. Now from the jaw stretches, we're going to progress to simply a smile. So a big smile, pulling my lips all the way back to my ears. Now watch what happens to my neck as I do that. It's actually realigning my head posture. Smiling is a great way to check your posture, make sure you're standing nice and tall, and it makes everybody around you happy. If you can pull down your mask, let people see your face. Believe me, smiles light everybody up. So again, we're doing that great big smile, and I'm gonna feel my cheeks pull back towards my ears and my posture's nice and straight. And now here we're gonna do a little coordination additive to this exercise. So first, I'm going to just blink my eyes a couple of times, squeeze tight, open wide, squeeze tight, open wide. Now I'm going to smile and blink at the same time, maintaining that smile. Now, if you really want a challenge and you're up to it, and don't worry if you can't do it, it takes a little bit of practice. I'm going to smile and wink. And now, my face feels so much more awake. And when our face is awake, the muscles are moving, we don't get that droopy. Why do we get droopy faces? Because the muscles aren't activating, right? Just like any other muscle, if we're not activating that muscle, it becomes droopy. So we really want our faces to be animated, for the muscles to be moving. Now we're going to come back to the pen, and we're going to make sure our neck feels released a little bit. We've given some sensation. And this time I'm actually going to move my head as I stare at the pen. So I'm not moving my shoulders or my body. I'm just gonna look at this pin and turn my head, get a nice stretch of the neck. And back to center. And I'm staring at my little logo the whole time. And I'm staring, I'm not turning my body, just my neck. And back to center. And this time I'm gonna hold it a little bit longer. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you feel any dizziness or discomfort, please do not do these eye exercises, but do give me a call and let's discuss it because there's a lot you can do. And I'm going back this direction and I'm gonna hold it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And back to center again. Again, if you feel any discomfort with these exercises, please don't do them, just give me a call. Last way we're gonna do it is going upwards. So I'm following the pin, I'm looking at the logo, I'm gonna look up within my comfort range, hold it, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, slowly come back down. And again, I'm not activating my back. For me, this is all from the neck. If your neck is at all uncomfortable, if you feel you don't have the power to do this, to maintain it, then just go up a little ways. Just always stay within your comfort range. And back down. We're gonna move on to our arms. So again, I'm just giving some sensation now to our arms, to my arms. In my hand. I get each finger separately. And my other arm. Just waking it up. Maybe a little bit of a squeeze. And palm of my hand. Each finger separately. And the back of my hand. And now we're going to make sure that our hands are wide awake. A lot of people tell me that as they get older, as they're working more on computers all day, they feel they're losing grip strength, they feel they're losing coordination in their hands, maybe a little bit of arthritis. So we're going to work on that right now. So I'm taking my hands, and you can do this one hand at a time or both hands together. I'm going to do both hands together, and we're going to do it nice and slowly. So first I'm just stretching my fingers wide. Squeezing together. Stretch, squeeze, stretch, squeeze. Now I'm going to make a fist and stretch. Make a fist and stretch. Now I'm going to imagine I can pull my fingertips right here, my fingertips down towards my wrist. And slide them back up. Bring my fingertips to my wrist, slide them back up. Thumb across my hand, thumb out. Thumb across my hand, thumb out. Now I'm gonna rotate so my palms are facing me. Stretch my fingers, make a fist. Stretch my fingers, squeeze them together. Make sure your palms are facing you and they're not halfway here if possible. Again, stay within your comfort range, but you do want to get the palms should be able to do both of these directions. Stretch, squeeze, stretch, squeeze, make a fist, open. Bring my fingertips down towards my wrist, slide them up. Fingertips down towards my wrist, slide them up, thumb across my palm and out, thumb across my palm and out. And we're just going to rotate. My elbows aren't moving, just my hands. In fact, my elbows are stuck to my body right now. You can't see that because of the camera. My elbows are stuck to my body and I'm just rotating my palms. And I'm gonna see if I can touch my shoulders. and pull them down forward. I'm going to go sideways so you can see this better. So I'm just working my wrists here. Again, if you spend a lot of time on the computer or with a mouse, you really want to be doing this. And again, just make some figure eights with your wrists. Do a queenly wave, side to side, like a windshield wiper, and shake your arms out. And that's our head, neck, and arms warm up. Stay tuned, we're going to move on to our feet. Really, really important to do your feet. Our feet have the hard job of supporting us all day long, yet we tend to forget that they also have bones and muscles and nerves which need to be activated and strengthened. So let's give the last portion of this session a little bit of time to work on our feet. And I'm going to start off simply by rubbing my feet on the surface. I'm on a yoga mat right now. You can do this on a carpet. You can do this on the floor, any type of a surface. And I'm paying attention to what I feel under my toes, under my heels, that I'm actually getting sensation on the soles of my feet. If there's a portion of your foot that isn't feeling, that is numb, this will affect your ability to move and is possibly a major cause of pain somewhere in your body. So now that I've done that, my feet feel the surface that I'm standing on, I'm simply going to start by rolling my ankles in and out. Now, I'm not moving my legs, I'm not moving my toes or my heels, I'm simply rolling my ankles in and out. So I'm rolling from the inner side of my foot to the outer side of my foot. As my weight is on the outer rim of my foot, my toes are pushing into the floor and I feel a contraction in the arch of my foot. Relax. And again, I'm going to roll outwards, push my toes into the mat, and I feel that contraction. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see this. So my toes are pushing into the floor as I roll to the outer rim of my foot, and you can see the arch lift up. This is especially a great exercise for anyone who has flat feet. We get those muscles that control our arches to activate. Gives a lot of relief. So now I've done this on both my feet, rolling in and out. I'm gonna lift up my right foot so the heel is on the ground. I'm gonna stretch and squeeze my toes. Squeeze, stretch, squeeze, stretch. And I'm gonna wave my foot from side to side. Again, it's from the ankle. I'm not moving my leg. I'm moving my foot side to side. And now I'm going to try to rotate my foot. Any way that I can get movement in the ankle, in the toes. And I'm going to point my toes, flex, point, flex. And on the next one, I'm going to actually push my toes hard into the floor. And I'm going to slightly roll from big toe to little toe, big toe to little toe. And I'm going to finish this leg by placing my toes down on the floor behind me to feel a stretch in the top of my foot and ankle. And again, I'm going to turn sideways so you can see this. My toes are on the floor and I'm pushing into the top of my ankle. And I'm moving my heel a little bit right to left. And let's go to the other foot. My heel is planted on the floor. My toes are up in the air. Squeeze and stretch my toes. Squeeze, stretch my toes. And side to side. Again, I'm not moving my leg. The work is from the ankle. And if you have any kind of balance issue, this can definitely be done sitting down. It does not need to be done standing up at all. It's a progression to be able to do it standing up. Point, flex, point, flex. And now I'm going to bring that foot behind me. My toes are downward And I'm getting a stretch in the top of my foot. And again, I'll go sideways so that you can see. My toes are on the floor. I'm pushing so that I feel a stretch along the top of my foot, side to side. And I'm just going to stand for a moment now and pay attention to how much more aware I am of the ground underneath me. My feet feel stronger and more aware. And I know that when you go out and walk after doing this foot drill, you're going to feel a lot more stable. And what did this take? This took a couple of minutes. I suggest you do it first thing when you wake up in the morning, or I do it as I'm waiting for the hot water to boil. I do it also if I've been sitting for a long time, or especially if I've been driving for a long time. Afterwards, I'm going to get out and be doing this. People know me laugh because they'll just see me doing this basically anytime I'm standing up, even while I talk to people. It feels great. Start to move your feet and ankles, have more awareness of them. It's going to make a big difference in the way you move and how you feel overall in your body. Thank you for joining me today at Soul to Soul, a passion for wellness and giving. I hope you enjoyed our session and gained some tools that will help you to move like you did when you were a kid and feel better every single day. If you'd like more information or would like to ask any kind of question, please don't hesitate to reach out to me either by email or through my website, exercisewithcare.ca. Phone consultations of 15 minutes are always complimentary. Reach out, let's stay in touch. Let's all have a passion for wellness, giving, and a healthier world. Thanks for joining.